Warriors Knights, we're still sweating on Sean Johnson. I think that's... I don't know. I know that it's a sellout at home and everything, but I think Sean Johnson's so critical. We saw last week, I know Newcastle aren't as ruthless and cutthroat as Penrith are, but I think Sean Johnson's just so important.
He doesn't play, I don't think they win.
No.
I don't think they win. The question for me around the Warriors is something similar to what the Knights felt last week, the expectation. You speak to the Knights players and officials, and you know they're walking the streets and they're getting stopped. There's flags. There's that real buzz which can zap your energy a little bit, and that's not the reason they started flat last week. But they just weren't up in that opening 40 minutes and did a remarkable job to win that game in that second half. So there's just some suggestions, right, if the Warriors are going to encounter something similar on Saturday.
Yeah, well, sell out in 30 minutes for Go Media Stadium, which is the old...
What does it hold?
It's 25,000 Mount Smart, isn't it? Thereabouts. So, yes, what about...
I love this Newcastle side, guys. I'm cheering for them now.
They're the two best...
both the Sharks are out.
They're the two best stories at the moment. Like, in terms of public sentiment and support, you can't cheer against the Warriors, Buzzy. Like, just...
I am. I'm an old Newcastle boy. I spent my first 17 years in Newcastle.
You've never been to New Zealand?
I've been to New Zealand, yes.
Well, there you go, you're Warriors, man.
No, I've been to New Zealand. Covered a game over there a long time ago in windy Wellington, actually, a test match.
Yep.
Remember, I'll never forget the hotel foyer. I wasn't getting on with Martin Bella at the time, so I was avoiding him whenever I saw him. He was an angry man, Marty Bella. Back in the day, so I was avoiding him. Chippy, the great Chippy Frelingos, was on that tour too for the Mirror, and I was the telly.
Okay, nice.
And there was a rugby union international on as well, the Bledisloe Cup. So it was this massive weekend where League Test Saturday, the Bledisloe, or the other way around, I can't remember.
Did you get to both, or?
I did.
Nice.
I did, yes, I did. But I've fallen in love with this Newcastle side because of what the coach has done. To come back to what Callum Pong has done when we thought he was a career like that over round 2. We didn't know if he'd make it back. And they're just so exciting, the footy they play.
Yeah. The side of Dom Young, imagine getting on the outside of a defender and running down that right touchline and the crowd that went up as he was just in full flight.
Who's their attack coach?
Blake Green.
Blake Green. They've got a rap on him, don't they? And Joey did the pre-season there as well.
Yeah, he still has a role there, but I'm pretty sure their attack coach Blake Green. They got Brian McDermott and Rory Koch-Jason there as well.
Yeah, and I reckon Pong is half a coach too. Like Adam O'Brien said, his press, they were working the left and he worked out himself. We'll go right second half, and that's when they opened them up.
Dom Young is a good story. He got dropped. Greg Marzu's been
sensational story
around as well, you know. Adam Clune gets an opportunity at halfback, and he did a good job when Jackson Hastings missed a couple of games already. So, remarkable to think that one of these sides are going to be in a prelim.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Really, at the start of the year, no one had either of these sides in a prelim.
No.
So both great stories. Really exciting for the game, and because of these sort of stories, there's only one Sydney side obviously playing this weekend, but it hasn't affected the interest levels because of the feel-good story of the Warriors and the Knights. And
the Peter Flingos Stallion moment of the year we do, and I've been trying to think, and that Dom Young spectacular try, who did you score that against? Dragons, to be a contender. But I think for overall theatre, that Newcastle game the other night and the tension and the extra time, my goodness, it's hard to knock off. Is that the best thing you've seen this year?
It was the most exciting. With what was on the line, it was so exciting because at 16-6, you thought, Ricky's done it again. He's set up the ambush. They've got him. And then they just, there was obviously the turning point with the bite from Whiten, and there was the contentious strip call, and then...
seen some great games. What was the Para-Penrith game? Remember Cleary kicked a field goal miraculously. Was it a 2-pointer? Versus Para. And then they went to extra time and Moses kicked the winning goal.
Was that this season? Yeah,
it was.
Jeez, that's a long time ago.
But do you remember that game?
It was a few and far between. You should remember them.
It was a 40-metre Cleary, and that was...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was tremendous. And then Mitch went back down the other end and banged one over and
Yeah,
got
thought
all the cash.
they'd have jumped straight out at you, that one.
It's
One of the
just a
best. It was one of the best field goals I've ever seen.
He's White Parramatta this year.
I think you were. Weren't you sitting? You were on the ground, were you? Weren't you sitting behind Cleary where he kicked it?
He almost did it from dummy half,
That
didn't he?
was the day that
was that one?
Reedy wrote that he'd re-signed Mitch.
Yes.
Yeah, because I got him on the field and
Yeah.
he sort of confirmed it.
I wasn't looking for your
You reckon I'm
exclusives,
having
but-
a bad podcast and you can't remember the best field goal of the year? You reckon I'm having an ordinary one?
It all blurs.
See if we
Too
can't.
many games.
See if we can't pick us back up. Do you have any news around the Knights?
Oh, just around their coach and Adam O'Brien is. It is the most remarkable story. When we got to the midway point of the year, he was more chance of getting sacked than seeing out the season. And then, once their commitments are done and dusted, Newcastle have all but agreed to offer him a 2-year extension. So they'll sit down with Adam once the season's done and put that 2-year offer to him. He's got 12 months next year, so it's 3 more years. And by the end of that, if he sees that through, he'll become the most capped coach in Newcastle history. It's amazing to think that Michael Hagan's the only coach to have coached 100, at least 100 games for the Knights in their history.
It's crazy.
Talking about him, O'Brien, I don't often publicly praise you, but I read your I read your piece in the Sunday Telegraph news section last week on Adam O'Brien. It was the most beautiful piece of sports writing, Michael.
Thanks, Phil.
It was very, very emotional, and I was honestly almost reduced to tears with that man's relationship with his mum and what he went through with his family. And Mobsy, what a good story.
Yeah, it took a heavy edit.
Did you knock it into shape, did you?
No, he did very well.
No, tell me, did you have to work on it?
No, it was very good.
It was an opportunity for you to take a bit of leadership.
No, I didn't have to. Hey, listen, if it
The
ain't broke,
leadership
don't
was
fix
go to
it.
Newcastle, go do it. And
No, it was a very,
Thank
very
you.
nice
No,
story.
it was Adam got emotional sharing that story as you could imagine, and the feedback's been good for Adam as well. I don't think people knew, and even people within the club knew something was wrong, but they didn't know the extent of it, and that's a credit to Adam to.
And you've got to, our listeners got to understand, this was all happening, not on a 10-week streak.
Yeah.
This was happening
when he was about to get shown the door around that
Yeah,
period, right? So he was dealing with the footy scrutiny and trying to reconcile with that, plus dealing with the grief of going through losing his mother as well. So, he's a tough guy, but it also shows the support that he has of the playing group who have stuck by him and kept on the path that he'd set forward. And it is one of the great stories, one of the most remarkable. We've been so critical of South Sydney and their slump and their capitulation. Well, on the flip side, this is an amazing story to see how Newcastle have really progressed in the back half of the year.
Did the tattoo hurt?
I didn't get one.
Did you ask?
I didn't ask if it hurt. No.
Oh,
mine hurt in 2016.
Can you show us it?
I've shown you plenty of times.
No, I didn't ask. I'm tattoo free, so I don't know.
we can leave the best calves in Sydney under the pants today. So.
Yeah, we will. What's next?